beautiful souls. I'm glad I came on now before January was out so I can wish everyone a peaceful new year and well-being. Before I started paper crafting in the way that I've been doing it in the past few years, I was paper crafting in miniatures using cardboard to make furniture. I would say about 2013 to 2014, I started watching scrapbooking, paper crafting, mini albums, paper crafting, and began to get the concept of it. With embossing folders, metal cutting dies, die cutting machines, etc. And began collecting a few supplies. Here and there, I bought a few dies from Cherry Lynn Design and found out that her husband offered custom-made dies. He himself created die cutting machines. He had, I forgot what they were called. One was bigger, and then there was another one that was smaller, and that was the sister to the bigger one. I ended up reaching out to him because I was interested in having dies made, but for miniatures. We had a back and forth conversation. Since I didn't know anything about graphic designing, he offered to set me up with one of his graphic designers when I was ready, to have the dies made. I ended up not calling back because I would need to pay the graphic designer outside of having the dies made. And since I didn't know how that worked, I felt intimidated and felt like I was in over my head. A few years, went by, and I ended up creating this Armoire design using the Brother Scanning Cut. And I created that because I was in a one-on-one swap with Ida from Created to Create, and that's how I met her. And I also designed a dresser for her. I used it as the dresser. I used it as a gift box, and to put goodies in it. And then the armoire, I created a flip tag. And since then, I've also started designing my own digital papers. So I started getting familiar with technology. Well, now I ended up learning how to design in a way that allows me now to create dies. And so now my dream has been realized. It's not miniature, but it's still furniture. Okay, so this is the original. Okay. Ta-da! I have my own die set now. This die set is a little bit shorter than the original, but it's a little bit wider because if you notice here, this area is really thin. And I was, fortunate enough to find these miniature hinges that actually fit within that area. But not everybody, would have access to that, and not everybody probably wouldn't know how to get it. So I ended up making it where it's wider and it has more of a space to add these hinges that I've included in the die set. So you don't have to go out and buy the hinges. It's already in the die set, including door pulls, and you're going to see that on the project. It has real working door pulls and real working hinges. OMG. Okay, and so you have the main die set. This is for the back. You have the solid doors. You have an extra leg here to make this part stronger, to make the feet stronger. And then you have the opening to put the door in. And then this part is the decorative element that goes on top of the door, which is this part here. It cuts out the window for you so you can, use your pretty papers that have a pretty image that you want to show through. Okay. This also has this part here, and this is gonna go like on top of the armoire, like an extra element, and this is how it cuts out. Look how pretty that cuts out. And I designed that. OMG. I designed it. There we go. Look how pretty and lacy and intricate that is. And then this is a word die. It says fit for a queen. I didn't like glue anything down because I'm not sure if I want to make it into a tag or into an embellishment. So it says fit for a queen, and it has the crown here, and then it also has the separate crown. As you can see there, so you have a separate crown. All right. So you have both silhouettes. So you have a bigger one and a smaller one. To make these sturdy, I ended up embossing this layer. The collection is called Fit for a Queen Vintage Armoire. And you have all of these extra elements to decorate your armoire. And here is the dresser. I'll get to that in a minute. I do want to mention that the dice set does not include sides to make it 3D because it would have been too expensive for the both of us, okay? However, we can create a rectangle box to make it a 3D, keeping it simple. This can be made into a mini album, a journal. You can make a card out of it. This would be great for like a housewarming. You can make a gift box out of it. Also, keep in mind that this is not a standard cutting die. You will need a bigger plate and a die cutting machine with the opening, you know, where you feed your dies. That's at most 6.5 inches wide or more. So if that's not the case for you, if you don't have a die cutting machine that's big enough to accommodate the die, I would suggest not to purchase it. That way you and I won't be inconvenienced, especially you won't be inconvenienced, and it will save you money and time from you shipping it back to me, okay? Okay, so that's the armoire. So the armoire that I designed originally for Ida, this part is different. Where the mirror is, that's completely different. And you have a decorative piece here that embosses. It has embossing details to layer on the mirror, you know, to make a frame. You have the drawer fronts. You have both. I included both. I could have included one. What the heck? So I included both. And then you have an extra feet for this one too. I think, you know, they pretty much match. This feet would match here too, but you know, since this is separate die set from the armoire, I ended up including that. And this part here looked like a butterfly to me, so I gave you two different butterfly elements, you know, to layer here or use it somewhere else. And then you're gonna have real working drawer pulls. The drawer is not gonna like open and close unless you make it like that, but I'm saying that these are the drawer pulls. You're gonna put it here and it's gonna have a moving mechanism like a real drawer pull. That's what I meant to say. All right, so there's that. I will be making dies from time to time. It's not going to be like an ongoing all the time thing because it takes quite a bit of time for me to design. I want to still be able to create and also enjoy other craft mediums besides paper crafting. And I have a life. I can't be sitting behind a computer and designing and no, I do have a life, okay? One more thing, I don't have an online store as of yet because frankly the fees required are not in my budget. It's just not in my budget. And then I would need to sell these much higher, you know, at a higher price. And I don't feel comfortable doing that. Okay, so, and as it stands, I've already sold a few on Instagram. I shared it there for first. I've said this before, that whenever I create or do something, I always share it there first. Okay. So if I have something, even if it's not something that I'm selling, I still share it there. But when I, you know, have like a digital paper or something, or a kit or something, I always put it there first. So they get to see that in case you don't have an Instagram account, just so you know. It usually sells out there first. Okay, so if you do have an Instagram account and you don't know that I've posted this yet there, you can message me there. I do have it linked in the description area below. It's a LinkedIn. Just click on it and you're gonna see where to click on Instagram. In the event you don't have an Instagram account, you can email me. My email is linked in the description area as well. And this too can be turned into an album, a gift box, what have you. Alrighty, so, and I will be designing only vintage dies. There's not too many out there. I am vintage Victorian, you know, creator. That's how I like to create. That's how I like to craft. So it will be, you know, vintage Victorian designs. Thank you all for your wonderful support. It is warmly heartfelt. And thank you for joining me today. Let's share, be fair, be filled with love, and love one another. Take good care, everybody.